Hey there, fellow viewers. Welcome back to our channel, where we dive into intriguing and sometimes disturbing stories from around the world. Today, we have an incredibly intense and tragic case that will leave you speechless. Buckle up as we take a deep dive into the chilling story of Junko Furuta. Before we begin, I want to issue a content warning. The details of this case are highly disturbing and involve extreme violence and sexual abuse. If you find such topics difficult to handle, I strongly advise you to click away and take care of your well-being. Junko Furuta, a young Japanese high school student, was just like any other teenager with dreams and aspirations. But on that fateful day in November 1988, her life took a horrifying turn. Let's start from the beginning. Junko Furuta attended high school at a school in Saitama while working part-time at a plastic molding factory after school. She was saving up for a big graduation trip she was planning. She was all set up to start working at an electronics store after she graduated. She was fairly popular and well-liked by her classmates. Junko was active, attractive, and attracted a lot of attention, which made some people jealous. She didn't drink, didn't smoke, and definitely never touched any drugs. This made her seem very lame in the eyes of the thugs around the school. The Yakuza wannabes, one of the boys in this group, was named Hiroshi Miyano. Hiroshi Miyano actually developed a bit of a crush on Junko and wanted to get physical contact with her. He proposed her, but Junko refused. Hiroshi did not take this well at all. He couldn't believe that anyone would ever reject him. He took it as a complete and total insult. Hiroshi got together with a few of his wannabe Yakuza buddies, and they all hatched a plan to get revenge on Junko. On November 25, 1988, Junko Furuta was walking home after a day of school when she encountered four individuals who would change the course of her life forever. Hiroshi Miyano, Joe Kamisaku, Shinji Minato, and Yasushi Watanabe abducted her, and what followed was a harrowing ordeal that lasted for an unimaginable 44 days. Junko was taken to a house in Tokyo, where she was held against her will. From that point on, she became the victim of relentless torture, both physical and sexual, at the hands of her captors. The level of cruelty inflicted upon her is difficult to comprehend. Over the course of those 44 agonizing days, Junko Furuta endured excruciating pain and unimaginable suffering. The perpetrators beat her relentlessly, often using their fists and makeshift weapons. They repeatedly raped her, subjecting her to horrifying sexual abuse. But it didn't stop there. The level of sadism and depravity displayed by her captors is shocking beyond words. They burned her with cigarettes, poured hot wax on her body, and used pliers to tear at her flesh. They subjected her to mutilation and forced her to engage in degrading acts. The physical torture was accompanied by psychological torment as well. They constantly threatened her, telling her that they would harm her family if she tried to escape or seek help. Perhaps one of the most disturbing aspects of this case is the fact that others were aware of what was happening to Junko. The captors invited their friends to participate in the torture sessions, and some even came willingly. Shockingly, these individuals chose to take part in the abuse, prolonging Junko's suffering and adding another layer of horror to the already unbearable situation. Despite her unimaginable pain, Junko desperately sought help. She pleaded with those around her to save her, but her pleas fell on deaf ears. The indifference and inaction of those who knew about her captivity are truly disheartening. It serves as a stark reminder of the importance of speaking up and intervening when we witness others in distress. Tragically, on January 4, 1989, Junko Furuta's ordeal reached its devastating conclusion. The captors launched a final, brutal assault on her. They beat her severely, poured lighter fluid on her fragile body, and set her on fire. In her weakened state, she couldn't survive the heinous injuries inflicted upon her, and she passed away that same day. In an attempt to hide their horrific crime, the perpetrators decided to dispose of Junko's body. They placed her lifeless remains inside a drum and filled it with cement. It was a chilling attempt to erase any evidence of their monstrous actions. However, justice eventually caught up with them. In April 1989, the perpetrators were apprehended and faced charges that included rape, murder, and abduction. The trial and subsequent sentencing sparked widespread outrage. Many felt that the punishments handed down to the perpetrators were shockingly lenient, given the severity of their crimes. The sentences ranged from 5 to 20 years in prison, which left many questioning the justice system's response to such a heinous act of violence. The public outcry ultimately led to a revision of the Japanese Penal Code, ensuring that harsher punishments would be imposed for similar offenses in the future. The case of Junko Furuta sent shockwaves throughout Japan and beyond. It serves as a haunting reminder of the depths of human cruelty and the urgent need for a compassionate society that prioritizes the protection of the vulnerable. While it's essential to acknowledge and learn from cases like Junko's, it's equally important to remember her as more than just a victim. Junko was a vibrant young girl with dreams, hopes, and aspirations. She deserved to live a full and happy life, free from the horrors she endured. Let's honor Junko's memory by raising awareness about the importance of speaking up against injustice, supporting victims of abuse, and working towards a world where no one suffers in silence.